Hello everybody, Arnaldo here, broadcasting from Fidelio's Frequency. Welcome to my channel. So today we will be looking at the Vinyl Me Please February 2023 selection of the month for the Essentials category. And that selection is Moon Safari by Air. And I guess we'll go through a quick unboxing. As usual, Vinyl Me Please give us a OB with a hype sticker telling us that it is a 25th anniversary edition of this record, which came out in 1998. And inside, we'll take a look at the presentation of the jacket on heavy cardstock, very nicely presented with a matte and spot varnish kind of finish with high gloss elements in the front and also in the back, as you can see. And it's presented in a gatefold version, where originally the 1998 version was just a single jacket. Then to go further, Vinyl Me Please give us a really nicely illustrated art print, a 12 by 12 art print on heavy cardstock by Mike Mills. Included in this presentation is also a booklet with additional, kind of like an expansion on the album artwork. It is in the 10 by 10 format with a very insightful essay. Also featured is a cardboard inner sleeve with additional variations of the artwork, credits, lyrics, and unfortunately they did not supply the vinyl in a polyline sleeve like the last couple of releases that I've gotten from Vinyl Me Please, hence the seam split that you kind of get when that happens. And finally, we have the vinyl, which is called Sea of Tranquility vinyl. Very nice color. And now we'll talk about the record briefly. For those of you who don't know Air or not familiar with their music, they're a French duo made up of Nicolas Godin and Jean-Benoit Dunkel, which met in Versailles as teenagers and met again and formed a first band, I believe, called Orange in the early 90s, and decided that they were on the same wavelength to create music. So kind of broke, they decided that they would invest some time in scouring the flea markets to buy secondhand used electronic instruments, and they settled on the more vintage type because there were the more inexpensive ones, kind of like electronic instruments from the 70s. Hence, that actually comes to their advantage in their music, which sets them apart from all the other electronic music that was being made in the 90s. So we have this kind of retro electronic feel from the 70s, but needless to say, Air's music actually transcends the 70s. There's elements of some lounge 60s, 70s, 80s, all the way into the 90s. And if we want to characterize or kind of define Air's music, I would call it kind of like a down-tempo pop or lounge pop. Somewhere in the essay included in the booklet, they kind of refer to it as bachelor pad music from an international space station. So yeah, you do have this spacey kind of feel with effects, synthesizer effects that give you that kind of space age kind of music feel. And furthermore, the group defined their music, if you can define their music, but from their words, they summed it up as like alien psychedelic loungecore music that you would probably listen to on a Sunday morning after having spent the previous night at a club. So there you go. I guess their definition probably is the more adapt for this type of record. And mostly it consists of, there are quite a few instrumentals sung sometimes by the band members and in other occasions by Beth Hirsch, who was one of their, it was actually, I believe, Nicholas's either roommate or neighbor. So they recruited her to sing in English on a few tracks, which actually came to their advantage because it allowed them to break outside of France in the UK and also in the US, where they became somewhat popular. To the point where their second album actually is the soundtrack to the Virgin Suicides, by the movie by Sofia Coppola, who recruited them to score and provide the soundtrack to her debut feature film. And what else can we say about this record? Yeah, it is pretty well pressed. I do say that here and there is a little bit of surface noise. I think actually some of it was present in the original music. It kind of gave you that original vinyl feel. Comparing it to the CD, which I bought back in 1998, I find that this presentation is a bit more lush and maybe a tad warmer than the CD version that I had. And all in all, I think Vinyl Me Please knocked it out of the park again. With this release, both the presentation now, they're on a totally different level and competing with some of the other analog and audiophile labels out there. Yeah, I guess that sums it up for Air. Here we go, let's try it one more time. Air, Moon Safari, the Vinyl Me Please Essentials selection for the month of February 2023. So I guess that wraps it up for today. Thank you very much for watching. Please like or dislike, leave a comment. I'd love to hear your feedback, your thoughts if you have this release, if you remember it from way back in 1998. Please don't forget to subscribe and to click the notification button so that you will be notified of any upcoming videos, and it also helps out the channel quite a bit. So I will see you on the next one, and thanks for watching. Bye.